And a very warm welcome back to the garden. I have slightly abandoned my kitchen garden this year because of so many other different projects happening around this site. And so today I thought, let's see how much order I can return to this space of a little bit of chaos. I do like wild, but I admit that this is a little too wild for my liking. And so I'm going to see what is possible today. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Done my admin and it's time to tackle, and the first job is just clearing out all of the plants that don't need to be here anymore, of which there was a lot, so I expect to make a lot of compost. Now just before I start the Great Reset, which has kind of begun, I did a nice potato harvest here the other day. I should probably mention what my goal is today, and it's to create as much of a blank canvas as possible around the space where I can create more compost, I can add a little bit more fertility to the garden, and I can plant out a load more things, because at the moment, if I just leave it this way, I'm actually going to be sacrificing some food, and I need some food. So yeah, that is the rough goal. And also some things haven't quite worked out, so that's okay. I might as well turn this bolted cauliflower into compost, which I can use again next year. There's no such thing as waste in nature. Leek bulb. Oh, this here is pretty cool. These are leek bulbs. So I'm gonna actually save these and plant these and see what happens. Sadly, this season has seen a lot of cabbage white butterflies, and that means a lot of cabbage white butterfly caterpillars, which unfortunately have kind of shredded my Asturian tree cabbages. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the worst of the affected leaves, and I know, because they're a short-lived perennial, they're actually going to bounce back and come back strong. It's not going to look pretty at first, but it will be worth it. And there's also other things that need to be cleared out here, like this. Let's see if I can grab it. Probably not, actually. This is a borage plant that needs to come out. Whoa! Oh! And it's hiding some onions. Quite a few onions, actually. That's nice. Very cute. In here there's a bit of a problem. I've got this beautiful chicory that's kind of folded over and is flowering, and I've got more chicory coming off a different stem. So I'm going to keep the one that hasn't started flowering so I can enjoy those flowers soon, but I am going to have to remove this other one because I do want at least a little bit more access around the garden. So sometimes you have to sacrifice things, and I picked this one. But the flowers, hopefully you see that in the backlighting, this beautiful blue, love it. And I'm also gonna go in and remove this other tree spinach just so it brings a bit more light into this area and makes these dahlias stand out. Sometimes I'm removing them by cutting at the base, sometimes I'm bringing out the whole root system. Goodness me, these are great compost ingredients at least, and I can just about make my way through now. And sticking to the theme of dahlias, this here, it's called Hughes dahlia, but it isn't me. This was given to me from an allotment holder, because it came from an allotment from a guy called Hugh who sadly passed away, and he had a load of dahlias. And the way that it works with this asparagus, it just feels so nice and elemental, and it looks gorgeous. So I'm very happy with this. It's just starting to really come into its own, and now it has a little bit more light to really show off. Ow. You see, if a garden gets to this stage where you're getting hurt as you're trying to maintain it, it's a good sign that it needs some attention. Ooh. It also serves me right. Ow. This will do for now. I'll come back to this corner in a bit, tame it down. I still just want to, kind of in the vibe of getting rid of the big things, and the south facing border needs a lot of attention. That's going to be a massive transformation actually. Now I'm placing all of the compost material in a pile in front of the compost bins. I might have to double handle it a bit later, because I am debating exactly what I do with this, whether I do a compost pile on one of the beds actually, but I've got some ready-made compost that I could put over some of the beds. So it's a bit in the way, it's in the entrance, but because it's such a tiny confined garden, there's really not any other place. So I think sometimes you can get just so dedicated on efficiency and stuff, and I'm like, sometimes you've just got to do it, and it doesn't matter if I have to double handle this. What matters is that there's a bit of space that I can at least put everything in somewhat of an organised pile, to then give me time to decide what to do, rather than think like, oh, I've got to deal with this right now. It's just, you know, delaying the problem until a later date. Now I think for this side, I'm just going to, there's a bit of polyculture going on here. There's one of being grown up, this evening primrose. I'm just going to pull most of these things out and just do a reset. And there's some plants that I might move from the other parts of the garden into this border ready for winter. And also behind here there is there is a tomato plant, so that's good. Nice to have some outdoor tomatoes even in the crazy shade. But shade is like the biggest limitation for a lot of gardens, or like forest gardens kind of thing. You have to try and find that balance. and sometimes it can overshoot. And this example here, this is what happens if you don't do anything for like 2 or 3 months really. It turns into this chaos, and there's an apple tree behind there that I also need to rescue and do a bit of pruning. Now I still have a huge amount of work to do, so I'm just going to go into action mode. That's a bit better. I'm really excited for when this is all nicely reset. If I can do that today, that'll look awesome actually. Now, after a bit of realisation, I noticed this whole bed here is completely empty. So I'm actually going to pile all of the material on top of this bed so I can access that compost bin for compost, because it's easy to underestimate how much organic matter is coming out of this garden today. That's a decent pile. Right, that clears things up a bit. Now there is this funny saying that humans tend to overestimate what they can do in a day but underestimate what they can do in a year. And I definitely reckon I've overestimated what I could do today, but it isn't even lunchtime yet. I'm just going for it. I'm about a third of the way through. And it's fun, it's exciting. It's like, wow, I've actually got all of this space that I can fill with more food, but yeah, lots to do. It's useful having walls about. At the moment, actually, a couple of my colleagues are making a hot compost pile, so I think I'll end up adding all of that material onto it, which is a nice use. And most of the stuff from this garden this year, because I have been harvesting quite a bit, most of it I've actually been taking to the chickens because they love all of the green material and all of the scraps and stuff. And I have a load of chicken compost as well. So as well as what's left in that compost bin, I'm going to bring in compost from the chickens. Now, back here I have a goji that needs a bit of rescuing, and I've nearly finished this border. It's almost ready for mulching. Happy days. So this bed here is a pollinator bed that is kind of gone over a little bit. I am going to come through and save some of the seed heads of this Korean mint, but it's a perennial and it'll grow back. Now the issue is I need access into this garden to bring a wheelbarrow in, and at the moment a lot of it is still quite congested. So I'm going to start cutting all of this back to the base so it's a little bit more clear to come in, and it also means that I can then access this bed behind, which I think I'll do a similar thing, cut most of it back to ground level and give it a good mulch. Alright, so fennel is coming out, not completely. I'm just going to cut it to near the base, just to remind me that there is a plant there, so I can then plant up around it, because if you cut right to the base, you then might forget that there's something there. Oh, I can already feel the light coming back into this area. Yeah. Then I think what I want to do is train the blackberry a little better. Ooh, caught in the rose. Along the top, or even consider keeping the blackberry more down that end and using this more as a vertical growing space, or just letting the fennel go crazy again, because I do love it. Fennel's fantastic for the pollinators. And I'm going to take this thing out as well. It's sometimes sad losing all the structure, but in the process of losing structure, I'm gaining growing space. Okay, so next up is this sweet pea structure. Most of the peas, I'd say, are ready for seed saving. So I'm going to have to carefully extract this out of the garden and put it somewhere dry. Take down the structure and clear a bit around here, and I reckon there's a good amount of growing potential in this bed. It will be sad to lose this structure. It served its purpose well, but got to keep on making those opportunities for growing more things. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna, that'll work. Yeah, there's some self-sown runner beans in here as well. It's a good sound, like, probably quite ASMR like. Right, so more space is appearing, and so I've decided to come back into this crazy corner. I'm going to remove these fox gloves, so I'm putting on my gloves for that, and also there are parsnips about, and with the sunlight and stuff, with parsnip leaves, and also with fox gloves, I don't want any problems on my skin. Whew. My massive pile of compost needs moving soon because it's so big. Oh, that's fun. Well, one of my favourite things about gardening is when you come across unexpected harvests, and looks like elephant garlic actually. Couple of rogue bulbs of elephant garlic. I'm most happy with that, and it means I can actually get in and enjoy these raspberries for once. So I'm going to carry on working around here for a bit, maybe prop these up with a bit of bamboo, deadheaded the dahlias, and then I've restored a little bit of order here. Okay, I do feel that I've actually got the hardest part out of the way. I'm going to pull these leeks out carefully because they've finished their flowering, so they're just not as beneficial. But oh my goodness me, what on earth is this? It's like bulbs and bulbs of leeks. I'm gonna dry these and I'm gonna plant these and I'm gonna see what happens, because I don't know, is this how you perennialize a leek? I wonder if it is. I mean, it would make sense. Babington leek is like a bulb. I don't know whether that's an official leek. So interesting. See, sometimes you do need to just let things go a bit because cool things happen. What? These are huge. Massive. Right, this is cool. I think we're going to have to start a new experiment. Definitely. If you know of any ways to make the most of these bulbs, please let me know. But anyway, in this space here, oh, that's a bit stuck. I've got some asparagus peas and some rocket grown, but the rest of it is just weeds. So I can clear this out and I can do a lot of direct sowing here. So there's a huge growing potential in this space. So in terms of the back corner, I forgot that there's a lot of growth there. I can't actually get out of the back door of the polytunnel because it is so chaotic. And I was just having a look around here. I have got some like Brussels sprouts and stuff that are a little bit hidden. But then this, I don't know, I think my gut feeling is to take this stuff out. It's been a bit caterpillared as well, but I think they'll pull through. So I'm going to start to take some of this out, so at least part of this bed will be open. And one of the main things that is really important this time of year, if you are trying to like plant up and fill any more spaces that exist in your garden, is that to space things out a little bit more, because the daylight hours are shortening. So because they're shortening, you need to try and do something about that. So by giving them a bit more space, it means each individual plant has more contact with the sun to photosynthesize. And look at that absolutely gorgeous elephant garlic. So I'll put that on the bed so I don't miss it. So I'm going to clear this, get this nicely reset. I think the herbs are doing all right. And then we're going to tackle the corner. Look at that, that is massive borage plant and that's its root system. That is crazy. Oh, let there be light. So it's a bit of a different view now compared to this morning. I'm just doing a last little tidy up of things, and then I'm going to start mulching. I'm not actually going to do the polytunnel because it's a warm day and I can just do that early tomorrow morning or something. But in terms of the outside stuff, created a lot more growing space, opened it out. Some beds or areas didn't need attention at all, like that bottom corner. It was quite fun clearing around outside the other end of the polytunnel though. But that'll just make it a lot easier for then sorting the polytunnel out tomorrow. So yeah, just doing a little quick tidy up and it'll be really nice to actually hopefully get most of these areas mulched by the end of the day. So I'm aiming for roughly about, I don't know, a couple of centimetres, an inch or so of nice compost over each cleared section, and then either wait for it to rain, I could start off some seedlings in modules, or give it a good soaking, and then I will plant in to some, and I will also do some direct sowing. But it feels so nice. There's always something so satisfying about putting compost onto new growing spaces. Really satisfying. Particularly after a long day's work, it's kind of like a reward for the garden, at least. Because you know, as a gardener, how important this stuff is. Compost is kind of like the bringer of life. Oh, I forgot how nice it is to actually have access around here, because I would crawl through so I could change the taps, because the polytunnel has been really productive this year. I've been harvesting tomatoes from it, and I've just been swapping the tap every day for the soaker hoses, the Gardena soaker hoses, between both sides of the tunnel, and it's worked out really nicely. So that's worked, but it's nice now. I actually have pathways in the garden, which means that I can walk from one end to the other at long last without getting caught or risking damaging a plant. There we go. Much better. So it actually feels like a bit of order has returned to what was this chaotic garden. Now, it isn't perfect, but the main thing is I have created lots more growing spaces, and I've also let in light for the things that are growing, and I've found a few nice surprises. So yeah, it's I was looking back at the footage of what it looked like this morning, and you just completely forget when you're in a space. It's been a project for about 7 hours plus the filming as well. Haven't had a lunch break, so I'll have that afterwards. But I feel so much better now. It feels good. It feels like a bit, I feel cleansed, if that makes sense. So enjoy the little before and after montage, and thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon.